Welcome to another edition of Reflections and Confessions of the $50 Billion Man. We are leaving Guthrie Estate on our way to the Aberdeen Airport, where we'll be flying to London for a few days. I've been working pretty diligently on the Christmas hardcore seminar that starts in about roughly 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks, and I've been going over the cases that we will be submitting to the various breakout groups, the 5 great breakout groups, and eliminating some of them, also adding some what I call textbook cases, which are straight from the B schools, the business schools, to beef up the work. For the first time, what the kids that are going to be attending the seminar will see, and I asked them, when you submit the cases, I want you to submit all the information that you think that is required to either buy a business, sell a business, or possibly merge a business. And the level of information, the level of data is quite different from the various guys. It more or less validates or confirms why you guys don't necessarily know what the fuck you're looking for. And these guys are already graduates of the QLA seminar. Remember, hardcore, to get acceptance and to be considered for acceptance to the seminar, you have to have been through at least one QLA week-long seminar. And but some of the people that submitted data, I mean, 2 or 3 paragraphs. And clearly, that's not enough information to decide whether you're going to buy or sell something or merge it, unless you just find some idiot with a lot of money that just likes the cut of your chin and just wants to give you a bunch of money for some assets that he doesn't understand. So it's quite clear now. And some of you, some of the guys submitted more information than you need if you were trying to buy General Motors. Remember what the QLA methodology is, a 7-step methodology that shows you how to create wealth that would normally take a generation depending on how you look at it, between 20 and 25 years, in 3 to 7 years, depending on what industry you're in, if there's any amount of luck involved, and whether you're a hard worker or you're lazy. And but it's clear that you have different ideas, and so what the hardcore seminar is going to show these kids is what you really need to be able to buy and or sell a business. And we have some of the kids that will be attending have business degrees from reputable graduate schools, so it'll be interesting. And every morning we will present the cases generically, 2 or 3 paragraphs. I will briefly discuss the cases with the guys, and then they'll go into their breakout groups in late morning and all afternoon, and even into the evening, depending on how much work they still have to get done on their individual cases. Then the next morning we'll regroup, and for those that are done with their cases, they will have submitted them to me, and then they will, depending on at my discretion, whether they will present their findings, their answers to the rest of the groups. Some may not finish in one day. Some may have to drag on into the second day for a case. But we've got plenty of cases, so we're not going to run out of cases. There's no shortage of cases to study. And what they'll see, the guys in the groups is, for the most part, with one or two exceptions, possibly three exceptions, they're looking at all the wrong information, and it becomes, crystal clear. And once you see one group make the same mistake, and then the next group and the next group, by the third or fourth or fifth day, their analysis of these deals should change. So that'll be the regimen that we go through, and there's some portions that will not be case study, and we'll have some exercises and drills that go into the evening that will normally be after they have their dinners. The schedule changes slightly on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day, but we'll still be working. We may get up later on New Year's Day than we would normally get up, for all the obvious reasons. We've had some interesting situations with some of the mentees since I did my last confessions and reflections. We've had deals consummated. We've had some deals fall out of bed. We've had some people rushing to get deals done because it's year end. I'm not sure when this will view. It may not view till after, because it's December the 3rd, I think, or 4th today. It may not view till after the end of the year. But as I've told you many times, both in the seminar and my podcast and my in the QLA product videos, that a vast majority of deals get done the last 2 or 3 months of the calendar year, and many of them get done in the month of December, for all the obvious reasons that people want to get home to their families, one, and two, they'd like to generate some business so they can get paid a bonus in the new year. And so we have a few of the kids trying to take advantage of that as I record this, which has been my experience. Most of the deals that I did happened in the end of the year. There's a couple of exceptions to that, but for the most part at the end of the year. So I don't expect it's going to be any different for the kids. We had some last minute changes of the people that are attending the Christmas seminar, but because we had a waiting list, they were easy to fill, and so we're sorry that the people that couldn't come for whatever reason aren't going to make it, but we're happy that the people that are able to take those slots will be there. It's a full house, and it'll be interesting in there from all over the world. We've got them from Australia, we've got them from mainland Europe, we've got them from the United States, we've got them from South America, Canada, Mexico, and I think Pakistan, and of course the UK. So it'll be a good time. It'll be a lot of fun. To make it more clear, because I've gotten some inquiries about the mentor program going forward in 2016. Yes, there's still a mentor program. Yes, it's still a year. Yes, it's still free, but we're gonna tighten up the requirements to get in the mentor program, even though they're pretty tight now. But we're going to tighten them up, and the kids will have to compete. The paperwork that you fill out to come to the council seminar, and that's the first step, is gotten more onerous, if you will. and asking questions about, why you should come to the castle. And these are from people that are paying money, and how they hope to benefit from the seminar. And just as importantly, the year-long mentor program that goes forward. As you know, weekly reports are due weekly and on time, and there are monthly what I call Zoom calls, but I mean it's similar to Skype, where we go over the accomplishments or the lack thereof of the kids for the previous month. And those monthly calls are pretty reflective, and you can see it on the faces, because I can see the pictures of the 18, 20, 22 people across the screen when they see compared to what they've accomplished in the last month, which may not be very much, and whereas some of the other kids have accomplished a great deal. And so they reflect and they ask themselves, what the fuck, why not me? And that's a great question, why not me? And a lot of the kids say that it's a good kick in the ass. It's a monthly kick in the ass for them to get more focused, stay more focused, and accomplish more. That's not why I do them. I do them so I can see in one fell swoop, even though I'm reading the weekly reports, how I can add value to the group, but individually, and then the group. It's obviously it's been pretty successful. I don't know, blow smoke up my own backside. This trip to London we're making not planned, and although because my wife Sally and I were going to be here approximately 2 full months before, at least 2 months before we travel. I'm going down to London to take care of some business, and I guess for Sally to do some last minute Christmas shopping. I personally don't do any Christmas shopping, which is a whole other story that I could do a whole other podcast on, which I will refrain from doing. But maybe my lovely wife Sally will do a podcast on that. She didn't train me well enough to do Christmas shopping. The dress for the hardcore Christmas seminar will be slightly different. The graduation will be black tie, tux, not kilt. The dinners will be in suits, business attire, and whatever the equivalent thereof for women. But the actual seminar work, the breakout groups, will be coat and as they call it, smart casual, no jeans, but without a tie for the guys, but a coat and whatever the equivalent thereof for women. So it'll be slightly not as formal during the seminar, because when they go to the 5 different areas on the estate for the breakout sessions, I don't see why they need to sit in suits all day and all night, except for when they come back to join us for cocktails and dinner. It'll be interesting to see if the guys, because they're not finished with their cases, and they may have to work after the evening meal, whether they partake in cocktails before dinner and drinks during dinner, whether they try to stay more sober. Now, they won't see this. They're going to see this after the seminar. This will be published, so it'll be interesting. I'll be able to comment on it on the next podcast on Reflections and Confessions, whether they refrained from partaking in alcohol. I have a guess. I already know who's going to not partake, and because we have some young kids coming, and young kids think they live forever, and they're probably not as concerned about the decisions they might make under the influence of alcohol. I know I probably wasn't either, but I'm not going through the course. We've had some comments. We've done a couple of podcasts for other people in recent weeks, and one of which was for a veterans group, and similar to a Wounded Warrior kind of thing, which Sal and I support, Wounded Warriors in America. And it was interesting that he said that he invited 10 or 12 people to make comments about their veterans program. And I was shocked to find out, I may have mentioned this in another podcast, 22 American veterans commit suicide every day in the United States, 22. And so he asked, and he has a list of questions he asked me, and he said that I could just write the answers down, but I decided to do a video of my answers, and I gave a little bit of a talk, not meant to be an inspirational talk, but perhaps it may be deemed an inspirational talk. And but when he told me he sent out 10, 12 invitations, I was stunned, flabbergasted, gobsmacked, overwhelmed. Use whatever word that you wanted to describe what he told me and what he said in the video, how many people actually responded to his request. Only 2 of us responded to the request. The others didn't respond to the request at all, which I'm very saddened about. And these are other veterans they're asking. And the only other guy that responded to the request as a guy running for Congress in the United States. So I don't want to take anything away from him. Although he is running for office, it's more likely that he would respond. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and whoever he is, I don't know who he is, that he would have done it anyway, even if he wasn't running for office. But that's really a sad commentary on the veteran situation in the United States, or not just the United States, but the world for that matter. And so it made me feel better, even better than I felt when I did it, to know that a lot of people are going to hopefully benefit from my words. Now, when I got out of the military, these 40 plus years ago, 45 years ago, it was at the end of a wind down of a different war, the Vietnam era. And although I never went to Vietnam, the veterans were not in high demand back in the early 70s. In fact, for those of you that are old enough to remember, Kent State, they shot students at Kent State that were protesting against the Vietnam War. And there were a lot of people that divided the country, not dissimilar to what's happening now. And people were saying unkind things to veterans, spitting on them, etc. And I had gone back to university at that time, and so I put up with a certain amount of shit, and so I can relate to the kids that are going through that and finding it more difficult to blend in, get a job. Now there's a lot of programs for veterans now, I'm happy to say. And one of the programs that I benefited from used to be called the GI Bill. GI Bill was where you could buy a house with a lesser mortgage or have your education paid for. I'm informed they have similar programs. I got, as I recall, about $600 a month tax-free from the GI Bill to go to school, which was, like a lot of money back in those days. So, and I finished off my education, and that coupled with I got a loan, a student loan from the Bank of America. That was more than enough. I also worked as a graduate assistant in the graduate school. But today the veterans are having a tough time, so whatever I can do, I'd be happy to. And in fact, one of the ideas that we've got on the reality show Horizon is to do a veterans type program. it's early days, and we'll see what happens in 2016. The one of the young lads that attended the August seminar, he was 17 when he attended the August seminar, and he's 18 now. Is been putting his board together and pretty much complete, and he lost his first chairman. He got another chairman. I told him, he asked me, and I told him I would fill in as his chairman if he couldn't find anybody else, but he was able to find somebody else. And he's pushing this thing forward while he's still working. So, I mean, whether you're working or you're not, whether you're 18, 17, 18, or you're 28 or 38, I mean, the shit works. And I was recently called by a well-educated ex-Goldman Sachs lady that attended the seminar, that I'm the, I believe she said, it's hard for me to say without smiling, I'm the Shakespeare of business mentoring and business coaching. And guys like you are paying great quantities of money to these guys. And everybody's got the right to make a living, and so I don't begrudge them that. But I would also tell you to just remember the source, and remember, have they made their money in the same arena that you're in, the same trenches, or are they now making their money by giving advice? In many cases, it's the latter. They're making money just by giving advice. It's not the former. But I would say that for all the business coaches, success coaches, whatever they call themselves now, did they make their money in the same trenches that you were standing in? Or did they make their money by selling books, DVDs, podcasts, etc., etc.? And the second question I'd ask myself is this person, is this man, woman, or beast where I want to be? If the answers to those two questions aren't positive vis-a-vis what you need, then you might pass and continue to look until you find that person. 2016, I'm looking forward to a great deal, but I look forward to every year a great deal. Last year, this year, was just ending. I was looking forward to turning 70. I turned 70 successfully, and now I'm looking forward to my 70s. And whether I have a big birthday at 75 or not, I'm not sure. But I'm sure if I don't have one at 75, I'm sure I'll have one at 80. Whether I'm still coaching or not still remains to be seen. And this final note before I close, I'm asked, I made a comment on a podcast recently that I had some big announcements to be made for 2016. And a few of the kids, like yourselves, have asked, well, you're not announcing your retirement here, Dan? I said, no, I'm not. What I'm announcing is some changes in the mentor program, which I just alluded to a few minutes ago. But how much longer I'm going to do this? I'm going to do it as long as it continues to be fun for me. It's not so much fun for you kids in the seminars when you're sweating and one of the things a doctor friend of mine in Asia told me a couple of weeks ago. He said he was looking at one of the YouTubes, and he asked, why are so many people standing in the seminar room? And I say for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's been proven that you stand up, I mean, you're more alert and you can pay attention. That's why I recommend stand-up desks. I also recommend people that can work on a treadmill on a stand-up desk. I recommend that highly. And when I was young, a long time ago, I used to do that. But one of the things that he brought up is you realize, because he says on the YouTube, you can see a lot of people getting up to go to the bathroom to take a pee. And I said, yeah. Did you know? And there's a terminology you call it, and I can't think of it now. I'm sure some of you guys will Google it. When you're nervous, when you're tense, when you're anxious, anxiety, and when you're afraid, it creates urine, and you have to pee more often. Now, when the seminar starts at 8 o'clock, I don't have to pee until the first break, which is 10:30, if even then. Whereas most of the kids in the seminar have to get up at least once, if not twice, during that 2.5 hour period to go relieve themselves. Because they're anxious, because they're tense, because in some cases even afraid. But the people stand because they can maintain their alert status more. We will have another one of these on the way back from London in a few days. So in the meantime, peace. God bless.